I'll probably move this over. Hi, everyone. Back from the holidays, and hopefully you can hear me okay. Um, so we'll just kind of go with the flow here. I'm just going to move this over a little. There we go. And this is the YMCA, of course. This is Barbara, and I actually am here in Medford, but I live in Phoenix, so I'm kind of like close by for all of you. So great. So I'm glad. It sounds like we have good sound. So great. So here we are in the new year, second week, and I think we had some issue with sound last week, so we're just kind of going with the flow this week. So let's start our practice with a meditation because we really want to get focused within, and whatever's going on outside, just kind of like let that just kind of stay there for the moment while we kind of focus within. And so find a comfortable seated position. And it could be that you're sitting on blocks or you're sitting like me, or sometimes people just fold, do the cross the feet, cross the legs. So find your place and just try your best to kind of have a knot, like a little curve in your lower back. And it may mean that you're going to sit on a blanket like me. Okay, so closing your eyes or casting your gaze to the ground with soft eyes, let's come into a meditation, a short time to focus within. Breathing in and out through your nose. Feeling the breath, allowing your body to expand and release. Feeling the weight of your hands on your knees or in your lap, just that weight without tension, just released, relaxed hands. And notice the temperature of your hands. And again, the weight of your hands wherever they're at, the weight of the hands on the lap or maybe on your knees. And notice again your mind, the quality of your mind right now, if it's really busy dancing around, or are you finding it starting to slow down a little? The more the mind is not distracted on the thoughts of what happened before or what will happen, any planning, any anxieties, the more it's focused on that, the less we can focus on our practice. So let's focus on our practice while we're here in this moment with nothing else to do and nowhere else to go. And then putting your hands on your knees, so palm on the knees, and breathe in and press down through your palms and lift up your collarbones and breathe in so your spine will extend here. And then breathe out. And pressing down again, lift up. And then release. And then bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra, the offering of the moment. And just feel that little place in you by the heart chakra, underneath your collarbones, where there's like a little sun shining out, shining that peace within. Now bring your hands down to your lap or your knees. Let's go ahead and start with our breathing part of our practice. And so you probably, some of you, I don't know what the levels of people here are, but everybody's got a different level. So I'm just going to go from assuming you know something about this. So we're going to start with Ujjayi breathing. So with Ujjayi breathing, you breathe in through the mouth to start with and hold. And then as if you're going to fog a mirror, you breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. And next time, breathe in and hold. Close your mouth, and now you're going to breathe out through the nose. Put your tongue behind your front teeth and breathe out through the nose. It's quieter sounds. Breathing in through the nose. Back of your throat is slightly constricted, and breathing out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose. You can hear that sound within and then out. One more time. Breathing in and breathing out. And release. And this is a practice that while we're in our physical practice, you can be doing your Ujjayi breathing. And it is helpful if you do your breathing too, because it allows you to be more focused on what you're doing rather than the monkey mind wandering off. So we're going to start with, excuse me. Everywhere I go, there's dust mites. So there I go. Dust mites and allergies. Let's start on our back now. And probably, if you have a cushion, you can put it under your head or a blanket. This is just a regular Mexican blanket, okay? So starting out in an X. So I'm gonna face you because it's easier for you to see, but the legs are out and the arms are out like in an X. Oh, there's a nice lie there. It's a nice, well, let's move this over. Okay, we're good. So you got this X, arms are out, legs are out. And notice now where your hips are. Notice if you might find some unevenness between the left and the right hip. So we're going to start with extending that left. So this is going to be, I'm not going to be married. Extend the left arm out. So your thumb is on the ground like you're in a reverse handshake. So extend it out and then bring it back. Now drag the right heel out. So extend that right leg out. So you're just going a little tiny bit on your heel and then release. Let's do that again. So left arm, extend out, left hand, and then right foot. So left hand, extend, come back. You're breathing, right foot out. Let's do two more. Left arm and right foot. And left arm extend again, thumb on the ground, right foot. And then we're going to take this over to the next side. So it's going to be left foot now. So you drag your left heel along the ground, the floor, and then your right hand is extended up. So you're on your right thumb, like a reverse handshake, and then bring that arm down, and then the left leg. So you're going to slide your heel along the floor, and then the right arm, left leg, right arm, left leg, and right arm. Okay, then we're going to take this. So we're going to do the whole thing together now, and with breathing. So left arm, right foot, right arm. Left arm, right foot, breathe, left foot, right arm. Left arm, right foot, right arm. Left arm, right foot, left foot. And then we're going to do one more. and release. And now notice how your hips are, if they've changed at all. This might make them more even. So we're going to stay on our backs. I'm going to move around to the side. And this is what we just did is basically a hip opener. It's a great thing to do, like when you get up in the morning, or if you ever feel any tightness in your hips, it's a great thing to do. So I'm not really going to need this so much, but we're going to do some yogic bicycles now to kind of get a little warmed up. So you're going to bend your knees, and then interlace your hands behind your head, and it'll be opposite elbow to opposite knee. So I'm not going to mirror. So it's going to be my right elbow to my left knee, and my right leg goes out. Okay. And then we've all probably done these before, right? Nice and slow. Right elbow to left knee, extend right leg. Left elbow to right knee, extend left leg. So just nice and slow. This is good for your core. Breathing. We'll do 2 more each side. That's 1 and 2 and release. Ha. Ha. Great. Okay, so we're going to do now, I'm going to take, if you have a block behind your head, you want to remove it. Okay, and then we're going to do bridge pose. So your feet are kind of close in, but it's going to be a low bridge, not one of those high ones. So with this one, you're going to do a little scrubbing your sacrum towards your shoulders. And what we're going to do is to lift up, and then you're going to take the back, this is my right hand, the back of my right hand, and place it against my left cheek as I look right. Okay, and we're going to hold that bridge. We're going to do a few prep bridges before we do that, but I wanted to give you that heads up. So just like scrubbing that sacrum towards your shoulders, and then come up into a little bridge. So we're not trying to strain the quadriceps here. Okay, short, just a little bridge. And then come down. Make sure your shoulder blades are kind of really tucked in when you're doing this. And then we're going to do that little scrubbing motion again and come up into a low bridge. And down. Okay. And then we'll do one more. Scrub your sacrum towards your shoulders and come up. So it's like a tilt of your pelvis. It's like a pelvic tilt when you do that. And then down. So the next one, we're going to do the back of your right hand against the left cheek. So you're going to come up. Again, the scrubbing or the tilting, coming up, and then bring your right hand over your left cheek and look to the right. So you're getting a little bit of a neck stretch here. So really feel that along that left side of your neck. And then coming down, do the other side. I won't be looking at you this time, of course. So coming up, now the back of the left hand against the right cheek. Look to your left. And release. Ah, so nice. Okay, so let's come now to a table pose. Oh yeah, actually, before we go to table pose, there's one other thing I wanted to do on the ground. And this is really good for hips too, so apologize. Okay, so it'll be a little different than what you're used to, but you're gonna have your legs stretched out. And so my mat, this is a shorter mat and I'm taller, but I'm gonna slide my right knee. So my foot is sliding on the floor, right knee to right elbow. So there's a little bit of a movement here. Coming down, and then left elbow to left knee. So you're sliding the whole time. You're sliding the arm, the forearm, the elbow. You're sliding the heel. Your knee does tend to come up, no problem. And then to the left, and then up, and then right, just to kind of get more hip mobility here, and then left, and then right, nice and breathing. One more time each side, right side, and the left side. Good, good. Now we can come to table. Okay, nice to come to table. And we're going to do some bird dogs. So you start with table, like so. And so this is actually like a lower back neutralizer. So you can bring your left leg back. Let me come over here a little bit more. Left leg back, toes under. So when you come up into this, you're going to bring your left leg up and push out to the heel and engage the core. So like you're pulling the hip points together, and have your toes pointed to the middle of your body. And then you can bring your right arm up like a handshake. Engage that core and look to the front of your mat. Push through the heel, breathe. And come down. Let's do that on the other side. Tuck that left foot under. Lift the right leg, push out to the heel, toes to the midline. Engage core and left arm up. Press through the heel. Notice your breathing if it's ragged or smooth. Coming down. We'll do a little bit faster this time. Just one more time. Okay, think of all those steps. Engage core, toes to midline, right arm up. And down. Right leg back. Here we are, going to the midline. Getting that so you could put a plate on your back and it wouldn't go off your back. There we go. Good. Okay. So that's our seated. We're going to come to almost one more seated. Actually, there was one thing I wanted to do, and grab your block. Let's come to child's pose first. You could even grab your block and have your head under your block. I'm going to move to the front so you can see better. And then coming up, staying in with I have my knees wide. You can bring them a little closer. But we're going to start with just putting your left hand on the block. Actually, your left forearm on the block. And then bring your right arm up. So you really want to push with that forearm. Right arm up. So a little bit of a twist here. Keep your hips even, though, when you're doing this. And coming down. And then this is in the middle, actually. So I'm going to have my right arm on here, right forearm on here, and bring my left arm up. Upper back twist. And coming down. And now remove the block and come down to the ground with your left forearm. And bring your right arm up. And coming down. Now right arm, forearm on the ground, left arm up. and coming down. And there's different ways you can do this. You can do this where the arm is way over. There's lots of different options with this type of thing. But now we can come to standing. And I wanted to bring up one thing about standing, about actually, I used to teach, I can't now, but at assisted livings. And one of the things I found, and I don't know if this is for you, but a lot of people will wear socks when they do yoga. And there's a possibility when you wear socks that you're going to slip, especially if you're doing it on carpet or if you're doing it on hardwood floor, you could slip. So if you want to wear socks, you can buy socks that have little nubbins on the bottom that are gripping socks. Those are, if you're going to practice yoga with socks, those are the best options for you to make sure you don't fall over, okay? So just to let you know that. So let's come to standing now, and we're going to come to a side bend. So you're a little bit wider here, a little bit wider, but not like wide ankle forward fold, but just wider. And then you're going to bring your right arm up, and you're going to bend to the left. But before you bend, take your hand, the left hand over the wrist, and bend over to the left, and bring your right heel up. So we feel this side bend here. And then keep the side bend, but bring your right heel down. Breathing, ujjayi breathing. And coming up. Come up slowly so your hips can accommodate that. And then we're going to bring the left arm up. I'm a little bit too far forward here, but I think you see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to bend over to the right, lift the left heel up. Breathing. Just keep that side bend, but bring that left heel down. And come up slowly. And you can bring the feet closer together. And just for a moment, close your eyes in Tadasana. Soft knees. And just notice where you're at right now. Yoga is about being aware of where you're at with your body, how your body feels, and where your mind is at. Right. It's good to have a little check-in break. So what I was going to do next was a difficult pose. So I think this isn't quite lined up. I'm going to move this. So I'm going to do this at a side. We're going to start with a chair pose. So the chair pose, you're going to come down with your butt. I call this pain in the butt pose, actually. Now your knees are not going to be bent like that. They're not going to be bent forward. They're kind of a little bit bent. You can still see your ankles. And just make sure you've got a little curve in your back. So starting with this, lifting your heart up. And then the arms can come behind the head, or they can come over like this. So they're going to have a little, it doesn't have to be a deep one. And then we're going to move this, engage your core here. Move that left leg back. Bring the heel down, and we're now in Warrior One. Okay, Warrior One pose. So your pubic bone is coming to your navel here. Think of, you're not totally squared, but there is that tilt. And then we're going to come down from here. So come down with a long back and hands on the ground, or they're going to be on your blocks, and you're going to step back into your downward facing dog. Okay. Scoop your belly in, bend your knees slightly, and the elbows can come out to the side. And then kind of as you're holding onto a beach ball, they can come in So the armpits are in and up. Okay. And then let's walk the feet towards the hands. And so now you're in Uttanasana. And then we're going to come up to chair again from Uttanasana. So this is heavier duty, up, chest up. You can have the hands behind your head or you can bring them up. Okay? And then you're going to take your weight on your left foot and bring your right foot back. And you're going to come into warrior one. So let me come from the other side so you can see me better. Warrior one, hips are out at an angle, but your heart is forward. Warrior one. Look at your front knee, just make sure it's not sickled in. Very easy in this pose for that to be the case. And then coming down, front, downward dog. And then you can walk your feet forward into Uttanasana. And then pushing down to your feet. You can actually push your feet apart isometrically as you come up into Urdhva Hastasana and down to Anjali Mudra. So that's a good pose. That's good for, you're doing some twisting movements. You're doing some heavy duty. Chair pose is a very difficult pose. So yeah, we're going to do a little more downward dog here. And so let's come down to our downward dog first. And this is also going to be somewhat trying. So what we're going to do is bring the knees to the chest. There's 3 different variations. So get your downward dog set up. So bringing your right leg back, you're going to come into like a plank. So knee to chest, okay? Knee to chest. Push down through your hands. And bring the leg back. And now your right knee to your right elbow. Okay? And look toward the front of your mat when you're down, and then back, and then have the right knee to the left elbow. And then back. Here we are. Setting it for side 2. So left leg up and knee to chest. Plank. Push down through the feet, through the hands. Coming up again. And out to the left knee to left elbow. And up again. And then left knee to right elbow. And then into plank. Knees gently down. Come into a child's pose. So there's different ways to do child's pose. You can come, I have my knees wide, so you could see they're wide, my toes are together. You can come back like this and then push your palms away from you, and that allows the hips to come down further. And let's come up. And we're going to come to standing. And I always bring hands on the hip crease to come up. So let's come to a wide angle forward fold. And I really like downward dog today, it seems like, because let's come first into a wide angle downward dog. Armpits in and up. And just walk the hands back and take your left hand onto your right ankle and bring your right arm up into like a twist. And then come down and bring the right hand on the left ankle, left arm up. Breathing, jai breathing here. Coming down, left hand onto right ankle. Coming down again, right hand on left ankle. Breathing. One more time, left hand onto right ankle. Right arm up. And then one more time, right hand on left ankle, left arm up. And coming down. Okay. Bring your heel toe apart. So you actually helps your coming up from that kind of pose. Okay. I thought I would do something we haven't done before here, but this is also really good for your legs. And come back to the wall. You have a wall, okay? So walls are premium, I understand. I had the same problem where so coming over to the wall, just for a little break from what we were doing. And your feet are, I don't know, as if you could come down into a wall sit so your knees are over your ankles and just come and sit down on your wall. And shoulder blades into the wall if you can. Palms up. Let's do this for 30 seconds, just as a break from what we have been doing. Jai breathing. I'm keeping track. You can do this longer if you want to at home. We're going to come back up now. There we are. This strengthening the muscles around your knees. It's also good for your back. So let's come into a reverse triangle here. We're going to actually do two poses. So you'll have your block nearby if you need it. I find I need a block. The blocks to obviously make it closer to you, the floor closer to you. So with the right foot forward and left foot back, and look at the alignment of the feet. You want your heels in alignment. If you're male, you want your front heel in alignment with your back arch. And the block is on the inside if you need it. Whatever height. I mean, some people have 2 blocks up. Whatever works for you. Okay. So you're coming forward. Lift the heart first. Come forward. Left hand on the block. And what you want to do with your right hip is actually bring your right hip closer to your left hip. So you don't want your right hip hanging out. You want it closer to your left. Okay. You can put your right hand on your hip if you want to, or you can bring your right arm up. Engage the core. Okay. And push the legs apart, the feet apart. Actually, imagine you're isometrically pushing them apart. And you're breathing, you're ujjayi breathing. Push down through that left hand. You do not want to be hanging in your left shoulder here. And you're looking to the side. I find a lot of people, when they're doing this, are kind of hanging their head down. But look to the side. And then coming down. And then we're going to reverse. We're going to make this a little bit different. So now you might make this a longer stance. Now you're going to bend the front knee bent. But the same principle of your right hip coming to your left hip. And I would place your left hand on your hip, in fact, and bring your left hip down and forward. So this is extended side angle, okay? And then you open your heart up to the right, to the left. Okay, so the hip goes down, the heart opens up. You can take your left hand like a soldier. That's what I call it, soldier, and then just move it forward. So your heart is opening up to the left. Your hips are going towards the front. Little wash rag here. And pressure, if you're doing this, whatever you're doing with your right hand, you press against the left leg. And then also the outside edge of your back foot. If you press that, you get more length on the right side of your body. And you can bring your arm down. Then you can move around to a wide angle forward fold. And come down. So it's nice, I think I've said this before, but it's nice to have asymmetrical poses followed by symmetrical. This is symmetrical. Always a nice thing to do. Come up to a halfway lift. And then come up to standing so you can heel toe the feet together a little bit. Hands on your hip crease, press the legs apart. I'll do the other side. So get your block formation that you need. And if you have a block, it's on the inside of your left foot. Look at your heel alignment now. And your front knee, of course, this is a reverse triangle, so our front knee is straight. Here we are. Heart is lifted. And taking that right hand down onto the block. Firm your right hip to your left, your left hip to the right hip. I'm looking at my heels. I want to make sure I've got good alignment here. You can put your left hand on your left hip if you want to. You can have it behind your head. You can bring it up. So this is one way to do it. Bring your arm forward, and then you can bring it up. Kind of helps the shoulder socket. Hugging that right hip to the left. Engaging your core. Breathing. Press the feet apart. Helps with balance. This is a balance pose for many people. And then coming down. And I'm going to take the block on the other side of the front foot. And now the knee is bent. Maybe you have to adjust your stance. So right hand on right hip. Okay, right hand on right hip. I'm doing it from the front because I do it other ways, but let's just do it this way this time. Front hand, right hand on right hip. Opening your heart to the right. So you've got two actions happening here. Okay, engage the outside edge of the back foot. Okay, your left hand, you can pull your right shoulder back, right hand like a soldier to attention, then you can shoot it forward. Extended side angle. Breathing, Ujjayi breathing here. Helps you really focus. Press through that left palm into that block if that's what you're doing. And then coming down, come to wide angle forward fold. I'm doing it the other direction. And then coming to a halfway lift, or I'm extending my feet rounded here, and then extend. And you can come up into fingertips, or if you have a block, maybe that makes it easier for you to do this. And then you can move your hips left. It's a very small movement, and then right. That's hard to see. It's hard to see where I'm at. Let me just move over here. And this is like an inner thigh stretch. You can move left, and then move right, and then left, right, and left and right. Nice. And then you can bring your feet out like diagonally. Here we are. Instead of coming up with parallel feet, come up with feet in like a horse dance, or people, my teacher calls it jazz dance. Here we are, jazz dance. So with this one, your back isn't, you're not like this. Okay, that happens to people. If you find that's the case, then you want to bring your feet closer. Bring your feet at a comfortable distance, and your knees are over your ankles, okay? Here we are. So I'm going to face you again. Here we are. Some people call this goddess pose. So we're going to do a few things with this. You're like this. Let's come up. Bring the elbows together. Come down. Come up. Down. Nice. If I can't see you, I'm sure you're doing a great job. Up and down. And then up and down. And we're going to do a little yin yang. So bringing your left arm over, right arm under, and now you're into a side stretch. I've done this before with you all. And coming up, breath with movement, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Remember, breathing in and out through the nose, breathing in, and then last time, breathing out. And you're back in your stance here now. And then come down. And if you can, drop your hips down, and your shoulders are going to come back by your ears here. So really, you can close your eyes here and just feel the breath. Feel it almost coming down from the first and second chakra there, the pelvic area, coming up the inside of your spine as you breathe out, breathing in, the back of the spine, breathing out, front of the spine. And then you can straighten your legs. Again, press apart, coming up slowly. And I would do let's come down to the ground. So we'll do another standing, but we can do ground. We are coming back down to the ground. One thing I've heard a lot about is if you can come off the ground without touching the ground with your hands. So you're just using your core strength is something to think about. And one way to do that, I'm not going to do the whole thing here because, but just to show you, you can come over, like you fold your legs, you can come over on your knees, and then you can come up from there. So something you might want to practice. Right now, got a little hip issue, so I'm probably not going to do it. But I just wanted to give you the option. You can do that at some point. But you want to, if you can stand up without using your hands, that really helps. Because one of the things issues we get as we get older, we cannot get off the ground. And that's why when I was doing yoga at assisted living and independent livings, it was more on the chair. They didn't want us to go on the ground. So that's something you might want to think about to practice. So let's come into this is a demanding pose. And it's called upward table. So we have our feet about hip distance apart, and your hands, move this out of the way, hands are face towards you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push up on your in-breath. And it's like you've got a tight pair of jeans on. And then come down slowly. Now, if you notice that your neck is starting to make noises, you can look at the bottom of your vision, and that should fix that. So let's go again 2 more times. Breathing in, coming up. Hold. Press out through the knees. And then come down. And one more time. Press up. Breathing in. Feel the strength in the palms of your hands and your fingers and your feet. And then coming down. Oh. Then you can just come forward into a little forward bend. We'll do a little bit of that in a minute, but this is nice. Okay, so what we're going to do next are some Salambasana variations, because lower back strength is really important for all of us. So coming down on your belly, and you can have your palms down. And what we're going to first do is just lift the legs. So you can look forward. I mean, put your forehead on the ground, probably be best. And gather your energy. As you breathe in, lift both legs and point your toes. It's a very small movement, unless you have a lot of flexibility there. And down. Excuse me. Coming up again, breathing in. Some people can bring their legs quite far up. And down. And again, lifting up, breathing in. And down. You can then make a pillow of your hands under your head and rest for a moment. You can even bring your hips back and forth. That's good. So the next one, we're going to do another variation of Salambasana, which has your arms out to the side like airplane arms. And you're going to lift your legs. Well, first we're going to start just lifting the chest, the shoulders, the hands. At the end, we'll be lifting the legs as well. So as you breathe in, you want to lift your shoulders first, then your arms, and then your head. So 3 parts. So breathing in, and the head's last. Press down to the front of your feet, your thighs, your hips. And come down, pranam. We'll come up again, breathing in, head, shoulders, arms, and then head. So squeeze those shoulder blades in your back. And down. One more time. Breathing in, so shoulders, arms, head. And coming down. And the last one, we're going to be bringing the legs up as well. So get the legs ready, get your energy ready. So breathing in, shoulders, arms and legs, and then head. And maybe you can come up really far. My lower back prevents me from coming up too far, so. And down. And then pillow under the head again. All right. Let's come up. And we're going to do Upavista Konasana, which is kind of what we were just doing when we had that little stretch. So find a comfortable blanket or cushion to raise your hips up. You might need your blocks. Depends how you want to do it. Now, if you're on your blanket, a way to bring your hips down, So you don't want them going up because then the lower back will round. So you bring your hips down. You can slide off the front of your blanket, or if you have cushions, just maybe have 2 cushions. You can slide down, so that just brings the hips down, and that's really where you want to be. And you can even start this with the hands behind you, fingers faced away, and lift your collarbones up. Active feet. Breathing. And then if you want to, you can bring your head back. Again, mindful of your neck. If you find you're crunching, neck crunches, just look at the very bottom of your vision. The eyes of the neck are kind of interconnected like that. And come down. And then you can come forward. Again, you want to start with a longer back and not a rounded upper back. So just coming forward, you can hold on to your shins, but you want to have that length. So bringing the heart forward and have active feet. Now, for some people, this isn't going to work real well. You can also put blocks underneath your legs, underneath your knees. And this is fine too. So depending on what your abilities are in your hamstring flexibility, some people can actually do, and the hips too, they can actually go all the way down to the ground. But that's not me. And you go within where you can. So maybe the blocks are like that underneath here. Maybe you got the blocks and you just want to rest your head on them. You can do any kind of combination. And just rest your head and just feel that stretch on the inside of your thighs. You can hold on to your toes if you want to. Breathing and just noticing how your body feels right now. And then coming up, and we're ready for Shavasana now. So find your comfortable Shavasana. One thing you can do, I'm just going to give this as a little thing if you want to do it. Some people put their legs up on the chair. I'm bringing my mat back to the wall here. And so for you who have a wall, you get your butt right next to the wall. So it's right next to it, and you're off to the side. And then you can bring the legs up so I can look at the Y sign now. So here you are, and this is a restorative pose, but it's also great for releasing body tensions too. So if you want to do this, you can, or you can do another Shavasana. And let's just find that comfortable place for you. Get my blanket out and just rest. And look at your body now to see what's going on now. And looking at your mind and what's going on there. So I'm going to just, there we go, good. Okay. I'll make sure my mic is available. So resting, relaxing, melting into the ground. Being with what is. And now breathing deeply. I like to think of this as waking up in the morning. Maybe stretching your arms out. If you're on the wall, your legs are on the wall, you can bring them down to the right, off the wall. And then wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can push yourself up to a comfortable seated position and close your eyes when you get there. And then bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. I just wanted to thank you all for coming to this YMCA yoga. I'm sure we're all needing this yoga right now. We're so grateful that they're offering this, and I'm so grateful that you're watching this. So be safe, breathe deeply, bowing your head to your hands. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you. Off you go. Oh, there we are. Good.